Let me just say, it's a great honor for me and it's a great privilege for us to introduce ourselves as the new, and this is the first time in Minnesota history, the new Minnesota Senate Republican Majority Caucus. We haven't heard that very often anymore. Never heard it before. We are the new Majority Caucus. And let me introduce to you our new Majority Leader, your new Majority Leader, a fantastic woman and someone I think that's going to just lead this caucus and this state down the road to prosperity and great pleasure, the great Senator Amy Koch. Amy?
Good evening, and thank you for your patience. We've got a little larger caucus than usual, and we're working very carefully and thoroughly to get things right. Well, the historic significance of Tuesday's election, we feel, cannot be overstated. Since the Minnesota Senate began using party designation in 1972, the Republican Party, for the first time now, holds the majority. Senate Republicans are welcoming 21 new faces to our caucus, filling 5 vacancies and replacing 16 DFL incumbents. Senate Republicans also bring more geographic diversity to the state Senate, with new members from the southeast, southwest, central Minnesota, and several suburban areas. Senate Republicans recognize that we cannot always control the political wave environment, but we are proud to say that we were prepared and are able to deliver upon the will of the voters. So the Senate is now under new leadership, and the business as usual approach to the government is over. The voters sent a loud, clear message to the state Senate on Tuesday. We want smaller government, lower taxes, and less spending. We will act promptly on that message, and the Senate majority staff is already hard working to reshape and consolidate Senate committees, and as an immediate example of making the government more efficient in how we get our work done. This new Senate majority is committed to delivering on our message of addressing the needs and the priorities of the state. As a side note, I would like to mention that I congratulate Senate Minority Leader Tom Bach on his election and look forward to working with him. I did have a conversation with Tom on the way over here, and he and I are both committed to a very smooth, orderly transition. So thanks so much. Questions?
How about the other history you're making as the first female majority leader in the Senate as well?
Well, it's quite an honor to be chosen by the caucus. And, you know, we made history on Tuesday, make a little more history. We're just going to keep surprising people.
Another woman for Senate President, too?
Yes, yes, there will be another, well, it will be a woman. We're making that decision this evening, but yes.
Who's in the running then?
Senator Fischbach, Senator Michelle Fischbach, and Senator Jen Olson. Anything?
I don't cover the politics scene a lot, but I thought on Tuesday night we were announcing that Dave Senjum was majority leader. Could you talk a little bit about the process on how you ended up winning the caucus vote and the process involved in that?
Yeah, well, I mean, we had a caucus vote. Senator Senjum has been an unbelievable, sure, come on up, Dave, is unbelievable, thoughtful leader, and Senator Senjum will continue to be a leader in the caucus. In fact, we've been having multiple discussions on how this job is much bigger than just one person. And so I don't think it's about me. I don't think it's going to be about our leadership. It's about everyone you see standing up here, and they are ready to go and lead and do what's right for the state of Minnesota. Dave,
well, and let me just say this. I don't think I ever did say that I was running for a majority leader. My goal throughout the last 4 years is to bring this caucus to the majority through a good number of good measures. And I would tell you, first and foremost, great candidates. That happened. But as we go forward now, my thought process is on this. I think it's important that we spread the power, if you will. I don't need to be leader anymore. I want other people to get involved in this process and to move our caucus forward. With leadership, I think, comes greater strength, and with greater strength comes a greater caucus. So I think it's perfectly appropriate for me to step aside at this point, and I'm happy doing it. I'm going to support this woman as much as I possibly can. We're going to go forward and make this both caucus great and the state great. Yeah.
How many ran for the position?
There were 2.
Well,
Senator David Hann also ran for the position.
You can tell us the vote?
No, we'll keep that.
Can somebody tell us why you picked her? You can tell us if you want, but can someone tell us why she was the one? I'll step up for that. But
David?
you want to do that?
Well, we have a bunch of new members, obviously. We have had a great success in the election. We had a very good meeting this afternoon, very detailed meeting. We talked a lot. We talked a lot about the qualities we're looking for in leadership. Amy is a great candidate. She'll be a great leader. And I think that what we were trying to do is make sure that the opportunity was there for a choice, and the choice was made. And we made a good choice. And just to further that, at the end of the vote, we all voted to make it unanimous, which we did do. And so this was about making sure that we had an opportunity to choose a good leader. And we wanted to make sure we had an opportunity to talk about that. But Amy's qualities are, I think, well known from somebody who's been around the Capitol and observed her manner and her style, and she will serve us well, and she'll serve the state of Minnesota well. So we're all proud to have her as our leader.
Well, and Don, I'll take a crack at that too. We know Amy Koch probably a little better than you do, but we are excited for Minnesota to get to know her. She speaks Russian fluently. I think that might help around these hallways. She's got a strong small business background, and that is going to greatly help her as we work on the priorities that this caucus and these candidates and now these senators have talked about, getting this economy moving again. Jobs, jobs, jobs. So Amy brings a energy, an enthusiasm, and a passion, and I think it's going to be a great, great run with her.
What about her role in the election? How important was that?
Well, that wasn't something that I made a key platform. We talked a little bit about that. Obviously, I think it played a role. But we had a discussion much further afield than that about philosophies and policies and leadership styles. So there was a great deal that played into the discussion.
Well, and I would caboose on here, if that's the right word. In many ways, because of Amy Koch's role in this fall's elections, she's very much like a statewide candidate. She was out in these individual districts, not just with the candidates, but listening to voters, knocking on doors, putting in lawn signs. She's got a better feel for the state of Minnesota, both suburban and out in greater Minnesota, than a lot of us standing before you.
Could you talk a little bit about what you think your leadership style will be, and could you maybe contrast it with the last Senate Majority Leader's style?
Well, I don't know if I'll contrast, but what I do always say, Martika, is I like Ronald Reagan, who said that there's no end to what you can accomplish if you don't care who gets the credit. And I firmly believe in that. So I think that you need a good, strong, solid leader, but one that can lead by example and encourages and inspires others to take the reins on different issues or projects and move forward with them. And you have to place your trust in different people. And so, I'm a big delegator, and I have a tremendous amount of respect for the people that you see standing behind me. I know a lot of their strengths and weaknesses. I've either worked with them for the last 5 years in the caucus, or I've gotten to know them on the campaign trail. And so I know that these are people that will absolutely have my back and can handle what we've got coming up.